And then with that, we've just started the main one.
Oh, lovely.
So for people who would start and listening to this right now, what you've just missed is half an hour warm up, which is on the Patreon, which is all perfect. And we're not going to mention the Patreon because we don't need to. That's behind the scenes stuff that you don't need to talk about. We definitely didn't spend the last 3 minutes of the bonus content discussing at length the titles of the tiers of the Patreon. So sign up. It's a couple of quid.
Patreon.com/truthseeking.
There you go.
Copy the name of the show. It'll be in the description anyway. Be the first link, I think, if I remember.
Yeah. And you can catch half an hour of real prime warm-up material. Now, can we get this fucking fact out the way with? Or do
you want to start with it?
Well, we can... Do you know what? I led with the last bit. You take centre stage and you can dictate where we start this show.
Well, I don't want to.
First off, you can apologise for taking so long to do a show.
Me? Oh, it's because I was fucking ill. The COVID wasn't very well at all.
Is that a good enough excuse for you people? I hope so.
I could barely speak. It wouldn't have been much cop ever. Keep coughing down the microphone. I managed to do a couple of the daily shows of my own, and I coughed on those. But that was after about a week. So and they would be probably nicely paranoid as well. I would have thought those because that's like a week of paranoia, and I didn't get it out on this either.
Yeah,
and I couldn't look at my phone screen to send you weird messages. So
I can tell you're not well when no rap-related content appears in my feed for like several days on end. But I don't get like some stupid whatever's common popular meme from TikTok that then cuts to you with some sort of decapitated mammal or bird that's been fused with some plastic item to create a toy.
Ornaments. You're talking about ornaments.
Of course I am. How stupid of me.
I get the fucking branding right. I do everything I can to brand this show. The least you can do is brand my dead rats correctly, you know.
Yeah. Do you know what? More fool me. What a tip. Honestly, from the bottom of my heart, I wholeheartedly apologise. Please, just give us another chance to get the names of your rat toys right. Let me give me one more opportunity to get the name of your dead animals glued to other bits of tat for money. No, it's a great hole in the market. Have you trademarked it?
No.
You should try.
So. Try.
That should be your first trademark.
Into the patent office.
That should be your first trademark.
Did I ever tell you about when I tried to get on Dragon's Den?
We've got fucking ages, mate. Let's go.
I had a TV producer get in touch because they do, and they're always trying to get me on something that makes no sense.
They want you on. They want you on Jeremy Kyle for something. They love you on something like that.
They never got in touch for Jeremy Kyle, but they have gotten in touch for other weird daytime TV shows of a similar vein. I won't say what because I don't know if I'm allowed to say.
I think you haven't signed a contract.
Yeah, but I also would like to work with these TV producers when they get onto better TV shows.
None of them are listening.
So. I don't know. Some of them quoted some of my other stuff back to.
None of them are listening. I dare say we can talk about it.
All right. Well, they wanted me to go on a TV show with a particular.
They want you on Tipping Point with Ben.
I've tried. They had one got in touch over Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, and I tried to sign up for that, and you had to do a video for it, a 60-second video explaining if you did win what you'd spend the money on. So I explained I would like to use some of the money to make donations to zoos so that I could try and get some decent dead animals off of them, like a bag of meerkats.
Yeah, you're never getting invited for that. You're never getting invited on for that.
I didn't think, though, when I was doing it. I was just trying to be honest, because that's what I would use the money for.
Why are you telling me not to push you to say what the programmes are when you're quite keen to commit self-sabotage by giving them an honest opinion of what you do with £1 million? And you're telling me...
I thought they'd like that.
I can
talk about that one. That was Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. I can talk about that one because I had to put the video out publicly. That was part of the thing that they wanted.
Right, that's
so that
even
they could
worse.
Find it easily. And I thought they'd find it, a bit I thought they'd find it charming, innit?
Yeah.
Because they'd be like, most people say they want to buy an house for their mum or something, but this guy just wants to work, but he just wants to work with new materials. He's still going to be working and paying into the economy and stuff and paying into the system. But no, they just want some pillock who's going to be like, oh, I'm going to go and live in the south of France.
Yeah, what they don't want is a man who's trying to somehow twist the conservation world into his own production line of new fucking toys and new materials to manufacture at will. Like, you're basically... you're taking what's almost a service to animals and manipulating it into your own, like, supply chain.
Yeah.
It's somewhat genius.
If you ring up and be like, look, I've won a lot of money, I've come into a lot of money. If I give you 10 grand a year, right, out of this money I've won on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, would you be willing to have a few meerkats strangled?
Come to meet an unnecessary, unfortunate accident.
Yeah, could you make the door of the hutch of some of the smaller mammals close a bit too quick as they're going up the ramp?
Why? You don't stop there. Not if you just won Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. You want to be like, here, mate, that rhino's gone missing tomorrow.
Nah, you want to keep it humble, innit? You want to be humble. I don't know if I'm good enough to do a rhinoceros, but I know that I could definitely make something good out of a meerkat.
I still
maybe
go bigger.
A porcupine pushing it. Imagine the money, mate, I could make out of a porcupine. I'd just rip all the quills out and sell them for £1 each.
I bet it's probably Chinese medicine. Ground up porcupine quill is probably it's probably an aphrodisiac, some sort of dick pill. It might be what they used
for acupuncture back in the day.
It's definitely anything that you look at an animal and go, that's weird compared to other animals. The Chinese will grind up and use as some sort of aphrodisiac or dick pill or bring you some sort of vitality. Yeah. The smeg of a silverback.
Oh no, I wasn't talking about dick cheese.
No, that's why
milk, innit?
No, I was though.
Oh, you were expanding. Fair
enough.
I wanted to make sure.
I was 100% talking about the smeg of a silverback.
Mm.
Which you got to think. I don't think they wash dicks, so that's got to be prevalent.
Do you reckon they're more like a dog's dick, where it's all in the body, or do they dangle down like those little black monkeys do?
They got tiny dicks, mate. One thing I noticed when I went to that...
Oh, that's why they work out so much though, innit?
Yeah, man. That's why they've all got that ego problem. They're all ripped silverbacks. It's because they've got tiny dicks. One thing I learned from when I went to that animal exhibition... The
sex addict meeting.
No, yeah. When I went to that fucking orgy at Longleat Safari Park, one thing I learned... was my ass did not sting from that silverback one bit. No, is that like you got that plasticine exhibition? It's not Body World, that's the human one. Yeah. It's Animal World or something like that. Yeah, Dr. Gunther. I went to the animal. I went to both of them. But the animal one,
I've not seen the animal.
It's my profile picture on the Threshold Discord. Is the silverback gorilla?
It's
got a fucking tiny dick, mate. Made us feel really good about myself leaving that exhibition that day.
I could imagine. Yeah,
I was like, that thing can rip me limb from limb. Dead. Yeah. Do you know what? My veins are filled with blood and not some sort of groundbreaking plastic that can somehow create a 3D model of a human or an animal.
That gorilla might be here longer than me, but I'm longer than the gorilla.
Yeah, it could rip me limb from limb when it was alive, but my limb's longer than it, so I went gallivanting out. But the one thing,
seeing as though we are talking about dicks.
Yeah, let's go on.
I can tell you the fact, mate.
Right. Before you do,
go on.
For those who don't listen to the Patreon, which is so far anyone that listens to the normal show, is that Jack's, we talked about this, Jack's been holding this fact in for over a month, which we'd usually just discuss off the belt. Like, there are so many ideas that never make it to the show that we don't talk about, because we discuss about 1 million a day, and they're nonsensical and they're not worth bringing up. You've held on to this for a fucking long time.
I have.
Take it away.
I know, because I've gotten this from a good source. It's not from, like, proatlantean.com or out like that, like I normally read. I got this because... it came from some form of training session that someone I know attended. It was so, which makes this sound fucked. It makes it sound like a bit, but it's not. This is fact. Apparently, predominantly speaking, the majority of the time, when someone's raping someone, the dick doesn't get hard.
Yeah, that's not really that surprising.
Oh, see, what a fucking... How disappointing, eh?
Sorry, and I don't
That's
want
all right. That's all right. It blew my mind, mate.
to
Because it made
because
it seem scarier to me, like the idea that someone's raping you, but they've also got to thumb the dick into you.
yeah, it's an awkward
It
moment.
just it makes it.
It's
It
awkward
makes
when
it
you
seem
both sat
worse,
there.
innit?
You both sat there like, well, come on, mate, fucking hell. But it's
The film's
ver-
halfway through, aren't you going to start?
yeah. I mean, Netflix is asking if I'm still watching it. Am I still watching? A lot of it is because it's a fucking power move. Half the time, it's not a sexual thing, and it's
Yeah,
like
that's what I got told. Yeah.
And also, a lot of people who are fucking carrying out these acts have fucking erectile dysfunction problems and shit like that, and like issues with sexuality. So they're lashing out really, and then what happens? Unfortunately, a lot of the time is when they find out they fucking can't get it up, they then murder the person. You see that a lot if you watch like
secret.
if you watch true crime shit so many times. Well, it's anger. It's like I've wanted to give you this show of power and dominance and like fucking show you're beneath me, and I can't because I've got a fucking weakness here that I can't control, and which is the real thing that I'm trying to fight. And you've now witnessed that, so now this show of dominance is actually a show of weakness. I've got to really show how dominant I am here. Let's slice your fucking arteries wide open.
Flaps off. Oh.
Yeah, I mean that's another option, but usually it's more terminal than that. It's a little bit more fatal.
Oh, fair.
But
Well,
yeah,
I thought that to me, that was world shattering. Because in my head, rapists had always just been fucking properly shagging people against their will.
just cocked and ready to go all the time.
Yeah, and that's
just
in my
packing.
head. That's part of the reason behind it, because I'd sort of bought into all the weird shit on Twitter. That's stuff like that where it's like it just happens kind of thing, and it's obviously not.
Nah,
But yeah, that was what I've been holding on to. So
thanks.
you were very underwhelmed by that. But I just thought I heard that, and I thought to myself, you know what, Jimmy's gonna love this.
I'm gonna love that. I think
Yeah,
does
that's
that
what I
say
thought.
more
I thought
about
that-
you or
well,
your
I-
interpretation of me?
I think it speaks about how I don't understand social things.
Yeah, possibly. But in a
But
nice
I
way.
thought I did think you would enjoy that, because I was looking forward to telling it you, and I thought that you would at least get something out of me wanting to tell you that and finding out about that. And
No, I have. Believe us. The fact that you've held on to that bit of information means it was so important to you that I believe you never thought that was a thing. I believe that you were
No, I didn't.
dumbfounded by it.
I was, and I thought you would be too. But
Nah.
obviously, you know a lot more than me. You've been around
Only
a bit
because I've
longer,
watched.
you know.
Only because it's because no, it's because it's fucking all the time
You've
on true.
witnessed a few more rapes than I have.
Yeah, I've been at a few more crime scenes. That's the one. I've watched them and gone. We've all stood around in a circle and gone, "Ha ha! You can't! Ha ha! Look at him."
you bring
Floppy-
the weird guy to
floppy-
the orgy. Like, you'll love this guy. He can never get it up. But we're not all leaving tonight, guys. It's not a sleepover though. Trust me. But we're not all going home.
Yeah. Fuck them and their floppy little dicks, mate. Fuck the rapists and silverbacks with their floppy little penises.
Yeah.
They're the same group for me.
enough.
What conspiracy
something
have we
else
got? You got
Well, I've
anything
got a little bit
conspiracy to bring to the table? Because
I do.
it's been too long to talk about it's far too much time's passed to talk about the Jubilee. One thing I will mention is they juiced the Queen up to the eyeball so she could do that performance. She's on death's door. They definitely did what they were.
Speaking conspiracy, I read that she died last year.
Yeah. Right, okay.
So,
it doesn't surprise us. I don't think she is. I think she's at death's door now. I don't think she's already dead. There's no reason to fake her being still alive when the country's basically waiting for her to die.
Fair enough. I just thought they might, because they'd already everyone had already put in the calendars. Because they'll get obviously they get the calendars printed at least a year in advance.
Right.
Because there's a lot of calendars to be printed,
So
and
you
they all have
think
the bank
big
holidays
calendar?
already in there.
You think big calendar, in order
big
to
date.
maintain profit, kept, basically created a clone of the Queen
But I just think it makes it easier all around, doesn't it? Because otherwise they've got to get everyone to buy a second calendar, and if they're going to do that,
That's
they might as
fucking
well
money.
change to George Eastman's calendar.
But that's money then. That's 2 times money. So if anything, you want that death. Because then you can release a brand new one. Everyone's already bought it. You wait till everyone's bought it around February time. Give them a chance. Not everyone buys a calendar in December. Someone don't get them till January, February, if they get them. I haven't bought a calendar in fucking years, come to think of it. There's one on your phone. I don't know why anyone will buy one, but fair play.
Useful to have one on the wall when you don't really know what day of the week it is. I don't have a routine, so...
It's one on your screen every time when you look at your phone, but...
I don't take it in.
All right, okay. All right,
I like the one on the wall.
You take the wall.
Yeah. I like to stare at the wall.
Take it in the wall.
Because I paid for that. Yeah.
What, did you steal the phone?
I paid for that picture there of
did you
Fruit
steal the
dressed
phone?
up like a murderer. No, but I didn't pay for the phone, but I didn't steal it. No, and it wasn't a gift either. But I got it for a job that I did. But yeah,
did you? All right, that was pretty fucking...
Yeah.
I got it for a job that I did.
Nah, not like that, but fucking... The calendar, I like to look at the calendar because it's got pictures of vegetables dressed as murderers.
Right,
so
okay.
I like to take that in.
Did you do that yourself, or is it something you purchased from someone else?
No, it was in a shop called the Calendar Shop, which that's where they sell them.
What the fuck do they sell between February and like November?
They seem to stay open till about the end of March, just selling off all the calendars, and then when they've got barely any left, they sell them for about £3. So we buy ours then.
Do they close from March to about September? Do they turn like selling Toms or flip flops or flossies?
It's just
or
an
like
empty shop.
What a limited
market! They're not giving any money
that is.
away to people. Yeah, it's awful, isn't it?
Yeah.
And there can't be much of a markup in calendars. I've looked at getting calendars printed. It's fucking expensive.
Sad.
So it's got to be like them American sweet shops, innit, where it's just something else is going on there.
Possibly, or it's a family
Bring them
where
in the front and send them out the back.
Dad was like...
Make a loss on it, but it don't matter.
Nah, Dad was like, I'm going to break through. I'm going to run the calendar business in wherever it is. And then just dragged himself into a pit of debt and then can't get himself out. And now, basically, like it sounds like one of the most depressing avenues of business to go down, running a calendar shop. Any sort of seasonal business where you only sell like one thing that only works, people only buy it 3 months of the year, and the rest of the time you do nothing.
Usually it's a gift. My mum always told me it's really unlucky to buy your own calendar, so you should never buy a calendar for yourself for your own house. Because it's really bad for you. That's what I was always told.
Is it bad for you?
So her and my auntie had an agreement that they'd always buy each other calendars.
All right,
just in case.
And they've never had a bad year as a result, yeah?
Oh, they've had fucking awful years.
Right,
if anything, I would say they're not buying their own calendars. Yeah.
Yeah, they should probably buy their own calendar, shouldn't they?
That might be what's caused all of my dad's ill health.
You should
not choosing his own pictures.
Probably
I
bring
got
it
them
up.
one once that was dog shitting, right? And it was just different pictures of dogs having different styles of shits, like liquid shits and normal shits.
That's disgusting.
And they wouldn't put it up in the kitchen. They didn't like it. They threw it away.
I'm not surprised at all. I'd go as far as to say that your mum and her sister have been engaged in somewhat of a double murder plot over the years, and they've been supplying each other with like ricin tainted fucking calendars. So your dad's been breathing in. Yeah, that is why he's had all these health issues and he's been getting worse, because he's breathing in ricin calendars every day. But they've done it so like it's like that Perfect Stranger thing when the two people meet on a train, but it's not Perfect Stranger because they're both, they're related by blood. But they're murdering each other's each other's target to try and get away with it.
In the same way, though.
Yeah, in exactly the same way. To the point where it wouldn't matter.
Because it's calendars, they can time it a week apart because they have got the calendars.
It's almost like you're literally given the date of death in that as well, almost, because it's the one that's not marked off. Which day is not marked off? That one, right? Well, that's the day that they died.
No, it's the random day with a circle. It's not a birthday. It's not. It's not our anniversary, love. Oh.
Why is that?
Looking at it every other week.
Yeah. Why does this page smell funny?
That looks like Janice's writing that when she sends us them cards at Christmas. What is this?
Why does it smell funny on this page?
She opened this beforehand.
She work in the calendar factory. She work in the calendar shop with that Derek who's in loads of debt because he set up a calendar shop. Aye?
They don't have shops called the Card Shop, do they?
Yes.
But they have the card factory.
You got, oh, yeah, right, okay, I'm thinking the same thing. That's
Yeah,
because
that's just because you said factory, then,
he probably started out as the card shop and then scaled up.
Oh, yeah.
Probably
Bought
worked
more
his way up.
paper.
Yeah. Bought more paper, bought a machine, and just went, you know what, I'm cutting out the middleman. And then the middleman went missing and like fell out of a helicopter like Scarface or something.
Yeah,
I
just
imagine
dangling him down.
I imagine the stationery and festive
guy
card
that sold
world
the-
is much like the cocaine market in like 80s and 90s gangster films. I imagine it's just the same. Everyone dresses in sharp
Hallmark's
suits.
just
and,
there with a big plantation.
Yep. And they do like they're doing card
But his name's
exchanges
actually
in like
Mark Hall.
just dumping loads of fucking birthday cards in bales off the coast of like Whitby, and then a little fucking tugboat goes out and pulls them in. Oh, got a fresh batch here.
And the guy dressed as Dracula, just dragging them in. Just
We've got taking
them up.
This bale's got a Hallmark stamp on. This is prime stuff. This is the good shit.
We won't have to cut this with those manila envelopes. But for actual conspiracy, though, I do have something.
Fucking go on, mate. It's been a while since we've talked about any.
Black holes aren't real.
Okay.
Now, this is one of my home-brewed conspiracies because of a bit of research I did.
Fantastic.
So, a black hole is a thing that exists in space that we can't take photographs of and we don't really have any evidence of. We only have evidence of the effects of. So there's nothing to say that it exists. And it does link in. This does link into another point I'd like to make about interdimensional creatures later on.
Haven't there been images taken of black holes?
No. There's been an image taken recently of something at the middle of our solar system, the Milky Way. No, in the middle of the Milky Way, our galaxy, which is called Sagittarius A star, which they're saying is a black hole. But I did a little side-by-side comparison of the two, right? Now, a black hole can't be seen, but the Sagittarius A star, the black hole, can be seen. Black holes can't be photographed, but Sagittarius A star, they've took pictures of it. And then you've got black holes normally.
Why then? Just to quickly interject. Why, if I then search for, can we take images of black holes? Do I have several results in the last few years when we've had images of shadows of supermassive black holes and shit like that?
Shadows of, not of the actual thing. If I could take a picture, right, of my hand, right, on the floor now, doing the shape of a dog's head, right? Would you be able to look at that, having never have seen a hand before and not knowing the dexterity of a hand? Would you look at that and think, oh yeah, that's a hand? You'd think, oh, that's a fucking weird-looking dog. It must be some weird dog.
Would I? Is that what I'd think?
I'm very good at shadow puppetry.
Well, all I'm saying is, it appears to me here, the internet would disagree with. But hey, I'm willing to carry on with your point. So we can't take pictures of something that the internet says we can take pictures of. But let's go.
Well, the internet says we can take pictures of kids, but should we?
No, we can.
No.
But it's whether we. Yeah, you're right. Whether we should is the question. It's not the question,
exactly,
and the answer is no. But with black holes,
we should leave that. No, we don't tell the listener things like that. We're not here to play politics or morality. We're only here to deliver facts, Jimmy.
Yeah,
now, with
that
black
was
holes,
a fact.
A black hole will pull in as much matter as it can. It just wants to fucking eat and destroy everything.
Yeah,
whereas
I share its feelings. I know how it feels.
I have one day like that every sort of other week where I have like an eating day where I can't stop eating.
I'll be honest, it's only if I've had edibles or something like that. Like I had half a bottle of syrup the other day, and things got real. Things got real at a point where I didn't think they could, and I punished myself the next day as a result. I was dead angry with myself. But it doesn't happen from just smoking weed now. But if I have edibles, like that munch comes to life.
Ooh.
Especially if it's in like syrup or something and it's not in food. Different animal.
Is it quicker into your system than like that?
No, it takes longer, which is worse because you sat there and then like fucking 90 minutes, 2 hours in, you just get hit with what feels like you've taken half a strip of Valium. You just get pinned to the couch and you're like, oh, whew,
Here it is.
Resistance has been applied, right? It's like dumbbells have been strapped to like all your limbs. Everything feels hard to do. Your eyelids.
Could you say half a bottle was excessive?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
There are sensible ways to go about things, and there are the ways that I go about things. I don't do things to be merry. I do things to forget.
Well, that's something we can compare Sagittarius A star and black holes with.
Fantastic. What a segue. This lad is a professional.
Innit, I do try. Black holes, right, want to eat everything around them and destroy the universe, right? Yes. They're the Galactus of the real world, right? They just want to eat it all. Whereas Sagittarius A star, it said it's like comparing it to a fella that only eats 1 grain of rice every million years. It's not sucking anything in.
Skinny little bugger.
Yeah. But it's still being deemed a black hole, which means, in a way, if this is something they've taken a picture of that they think is a black hole that doesn't look like a black hole, doesn't act like a black hole. So instead of being like if it barks like a duck, if it jumps like a duck, if it swims like a duck, it's a duck.
If it barks
it's
like
not,
a
it's
duck.
A goose. Yeah, I meant to say if it talks like a duck in it, but
if it talks like a duck, I don't want to be that person, but there are inaccuracies with both of those statements.
What's the phrase?
It would quack, wouldn't it?
If it quacks like a duck. Okay, if it quacks like a duck, walks like a duck, it's a duck. Well, this is quacking like a goose, honking like a goose, and flying like a goose, but they're calling it a duck.
Right, okay.
So something's not right. But then there's more to it, right? It gets a bit deeper. Right? I noticed I read more on it, and it gets deeper, right? So it's spoken of. Apparently it looks like the Eye of Sauron from Lord of the Rings. Right?
Fuck. We're fucked.
Which really. A lot of people thought that had something to do with Saturn and Saturnalia initially, but maybe it's just from the middle of the Milky Way, that symbol. And if that's supposedly where the Saturnalia thing that looks like Sauron's eye that people have been worshipping for years in the real world.
Hang on.
Go on.
Who's been worshipping Sauron's eye in the real world?
The Clintons, I think.
Right. Quick pause. Where's that come from?
All the Saturnalia stuff.
I'll be honest. I've skipped that part. I've heard nothing about Saturnalia.
Really? You don't? Saturnalia is supposed to be the worship of the planet Saturn, which is the planet with the rings. But you can also view this as a planet with a ring around it if you're seeing it drawn down.
Yeah. Okay.
It would look like how that describes. I was wondering if they actually think that it's worshipping that, and that's where the ethereal entities came from, or are trapped on this side from there.
But that's
why
Saturn,
they're making the influential people pay attention to it.
But that's not Saturn.
No, it's not. But it is a thing with a ring around it.
Yeah, but whoa, hang on. But you can't. People that have a belief in worshipping Saturn exactly that. Like, that's like saying Christians are just saying they'll believe in anything that has a cross. So anything with a letter T in it, or a tire wrench, or anything that has a cross in it will believe in that. Is the equivalent of what you're saying. If anyone who worships Saturn are going to believe everything with a ring around it, are they going to believe hula hoops?
Just staring at Beyonce's finger and not is just fucking. But there's no. I get what you're saying. I do, but if you think about the reason why they worship Saturnalia is because apparently they want to go there and they want to travel to there and travel direct to there. Why would it make sense to go to a planet which is my very easy method, just speed, fucking 3 or 4 planets away from us? So it's cold there. It's fucking shit to be there for us. Why would they want to go to just another planet when they could go to this other dimension potentially through this hole in fucking time and space?
I've got two answers.
That makes more sense to me.
Yeah, 2 answers. Number one, they don't. They probably don't want to go to that planet. As far as I'm aware, Saturn, completely inhospitable. Number 2, why would they not want to go to possibly another dimension? I think that answer's obvious. why the fuck would you want to go to another dimension when you've got
Why wouldn't you?
absolutely zero idea and the statistically zero chance of surviving?
It's worth a punt, though, isn't it?
No. If I'm being frankly honest with you, and I'm not a massive fan of England. I haven't travelled that well. I've been to a few places. I'm not a massive fan of England. I'm not a massive fan of a lot of the people here. But would I risk that? Would I dash that in to jump through a random what is or isn't a black hole to possibly get to another dimension, of which I have no knowledge of, no understanding of, no equipment or information to be able to survive or thrive? I'm probably just going to stick to Bishop, mate. I'm probably just going to stick to Bishop.
What if you did survive? What if when you go through that portal thing, for some reason, it translates everything you've got to the equivalent of that place there for what you would need, and you just survive, and you're like, yeah, this is sick. Everything that was blue in our place is actually red here.
Yeah.
So Derby Day looks the same all across the country, but there's other little subtle changes as well.
Yeah, I mean,
like the fizzy bubblegum bottles. They're the other way around and that, and there's little changes, and you're like, oh, this is mad. This
right. That's sound. We've all seen Rick and Morty. Yeah, that's cool.
That's what I was going to say. As a kid, if someone was trying to kidnap me, right, to fucking rape me as a kid, if they'd come up to me in a van and been like, do you want to get in and see the cats? I'd be like, nah, mate, I'm sound. I've got 9 at home. Don't worry about it. If that wouldn't appeal to me. Nah, they were
turn them into joypad covers for PS1 controllers.
I'm going to turn them into boxes. Fucking... not like underwear, just like puppets with
actual puppet boxes.
Yeah.
For the audio, I must apologise, but I've got crispy M&Ms and I can't not.
Which is going to ruin the show.
Yeah. Carry on.
Right, but if you wanted to rape me as a kid, that wouldn't have got me in, right? What would have got me in is if they said to me, if they wouldn't have done no, but if they did. What they would have had to say is, do you want to go through a portal? And I'd have been like, fucking, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the thing with Saturnalia, though. They try to go through kids' arseholes in the hope of powering something that we can't comprehend to be able to travel.
Where's this
part of the
from?
Thought of it.
Where's this come from?
Again, more of the Saturnalia stuff. For someone who's supposed to be big into conspiracies, I try to treat the show like everybody already knows. About stuff, and I'm trying to bring in new things for people.
The thing is, Jack, right? Yeah. The problem is, right? Even people that are somewhat well rehearsed on conspiracy, they don't have your specially tuned mind. They don't have your manic periods of diving down rabbit holes of conspiracy. And spending what is hours of what some people would say is not just
with stuff.
Hours of what some people would probably say is not only a waste of time, but a blatant journaled evidence of someone's mental decline. But what I would argue,
a total disregard to your own mental health.
But what I would argue, and what the majority of the listeners would argue, is a statement, a testament of your ability to study and investigate in ways that other people just aren't committed to. So you've got a base. What I'm trying to say is, loads of people don't have a fucking clue what you're talking about, mate. You'd have to break it down a bit.
Well, you went from
the Clintons worshipping Saturn to then getting portals through kids' arseholes. In that there wasn't A to B, it wasn't even A to Z. It was like A to fucking exclamation mark. Yeah. Theta.
See, well, I'm translating. That's what I'm doing. I'm trying to translate the real world for you.
You are translating into 27 languages of which none of us speak.
Well, I could explain more about Saturnalia, but I haven't got any notes on that in front of me. But I can give you a bit of it. So, kind of the idea of trying to develop stargates, if you like, to put it simply, like in the TV show. That comes from some of the beliefs of Saturnalia, if you like, and some of the misunderstandings of politicians involved in things like Pizzagate are satanic worshippers. They're not actually worshipping Satan. They're actually trying to worship the planet Saturn, the god Saturn, which is also like Kronos.
Don't tell us that people have basically gone, no, it's a spelling mistake. It's not Satan,
no.
it's Saturn.
No, it's just that simple change, isn't it? Like, look at what Christianity did across the board, how they changed slight things from pagan things to make it more palatable to all different countries. Oh, this country celebrates Christmas around this time, and this country celebrates the equivalent of Christmas around that time. Why don't we just bring them two into the middle? I mean, it's easier to control. So they just introduced the idea of the devil and Satan. I've spent weeks, mate, reading about the devil for a recent show on mine, which I found very hard because there's so much on it. And I tried to stay away from this because I thought this was stuff everybody knew. And I wanted to try and give different things. It's fucking... So they're trying to get to Saturn, but for some reason there's the raping of children and that, which is supposed to give power to these ethereal entities through the fear and whatever, but they're also part of the worship of Saturn. We can do a show on this, and I'll find a load of stuff on it again and send it to you so you can find where I'm getting it from.
It's definitely something I've never heard of before.
That's mad. See, it's in my head. This is common knowledge. Like, there's not like common knowledge as in, fucking the sky is blue, but like this is like in my head. This is like base level conspiracy. But then when you've come up with me sometimes in the first early episodes of doing this and gone, "Oh, have you heard the conspiracy that Stevie Wonder's not actually blind?" I'd never heard of that. Brilliant. Just because you see him catching a microphone.
Fucking caught that microphone stand. He fucking.
But I didn't think.
He fucking caught that microphone stand. Belter of a catch as well.
But you didn't know. I don't think you knew that Paul McCartney's real name was Billy, either, because Paul McCartney died and they replaced him with a guy called Billy.
But they didn't. I know that theory, but they didn't.
Okay. Yeah. Well, it's out there. It's a conspiracy.
Yeah,
I don't
true.
care about believing in them or not. I just have to fucking fill my head with them all for some reason.
Yeah, you don't.
And until this fascination goes away, this show can continue. But when that fascination goes back to chickens or moves on to whatever it's going to be next time, maybe we can start a show on that new obsession for me. Because this is going to die because I'll just suddenly have no interest in it at all. That's what happened with chickens.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to continue being somewhat of an accessory to your to what is inevitably probably going to end in some sort of possibly mass shooting or at least a murder-suicide. At least a good murder-suicide. Maybe suicide by cop. I can see you doing suicide by cop. Possibly.
Just to ruin someone's job.
That's why, yeah.
It's not even to kill myself. It's just because some cop has fucking had a go at me one day, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna make it so you have to kill me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make it so that my face is the last thing you see every night after you kiss your wife.
Yeah, that's that. I don't know if I want to like carry on with that. I'm not ready to give press statements.
Fair enough. This is how a lot of my friendships end. I get too honest with them. But I have a little bit more about Sagittarius A-star, though.
Go on then, mate.
We can get back to that rather than Saturnalia.
Let's carry on about black hole that doesn't exist, but does exist. I've seen pictures of it.
It looks sick, mate. It does. It looks pretty cool, this Sagittarius A-star, but the idea that we're all revolving around that as well kind of builds that thing for the galaxy swirls as well. It kind of adds an understanding to why do they do that, because no one really had any idea. They had a thought it was gravity, and maybe they thought it was reacting to all of the darkness, the vast emptiness around them. But now they think it might be because of something's in the middle of them, swirling at it like a fucking plug hole.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's exactly what I was about to say. It looks like a plug hole.
Yeah. And now they've got the plug, but they don't know where that plug goes because it's like flat. Kind of, like a cone.
I don't know where the drain is. Where's the drain?
Yeah. Where's the U-bend?
Where's the Milky Way's drain?
Where's the manhole cover?
Whose bath is it?
Where's the stopcock? Where do I turn it off?
What shower gel's going in here? Are we getting a bath bomb?
Well, are they putting in them little plastic beads and killing the massive turtle that the world floats on?
That is a fucking nightmare of a thing, you know. That's wouldn't want that for the turtle. I read something today that do you know how loads of tortoise die from people putting them in water trying to save them, thinking they're turtles. People see tortoise like fucking just fucking sat chilling, just cotching at the side of the beaches and that, like getting all warm and shit, and people are like, oh fuck, white people
getting
obviously
its blood working.
Yeah. Not natives, not anyone from like actually where the place is from, to be like, no, that thing's fine. White people on holiday go, oh shit, that thing's definitely, it needs water. Let's put that thing that, it hasn't got flippers? It's got what looks like really heavy feet. Ah, that'll definitely swim. We'll chuck that in water. Yeah, loads die. Absolutely loads die.
That's great, that. I had a tortoise, though. I had a tortoise growing up. I called her Claire because I used to say to the lady that ran clubs, when I used to go to clubs, I used to tell her most times that I was there that she had a face that made her look like a turtle. So then when I did have a tortoise, I named it after her. But I didn't know her at this point. This was years later.
Right.
And she just stuck with me. And she used to love a bath, the tortoise.
Well, yeah, a bath, yeah, as long as that bath's not like above 3 inches deep.
Yeah, but they love the water. They do love it. But I can imagine how much the one would panic. And there's not much it can do. There's not much a tortoise can do in a panic.
I love water if my lungs aren't full of it.
Yeah.
I imagine it's the same for a tortoise. We don't share many of the same personality traits, myself and tortoise, I imagine. But one of them, we both enjoy not having waterlogged lungs. I reckon that's a big positive for the pair of us.
I would imagine so. Mine had a big thing for the colour red, which was weird. Because I always assumed they'd just see in black and white because I imagined them to be old people, and old people had black and white TVs. I just thought tortoises would see in black and white.
Fair one.
She had a big thing for the colour red.
Saw a
like
racist,
tomatoes, strawberries.
Saw a racist one on Reddit the other day that would only attack black things. Like people put 5 white shoes down and then a black shoe, and it went and attacked the black shoe, and then like there was like 4 white people and a black person, and it just went and attacked the black person. Like it's a racist tortoise, which I didn't think.
So that is a tortoise that can see colour.
Yeah, that's true. But not only see but hate it at the same time, which is, I don't know if that is progress or not. I don't think that.
It is. That is progress, though. No, it is.
Maybe that tortoise just existed.
Have emotions.
Maybe it just existed. Maybe it was a German tortoise, isn't it? Because they live for a long time, don't they? Like that tortoise could have been from a different age. Could have been from another time. It's not.
Tortoises. Some tortoises sound German. One's called a Hermann's tortoise, and Hermann's sounds German.
Yeah, I mean, well, didn't we have the Sherman tank?
Oh, did we? I thought Hermann sounds German.
Hermann's does it because you got Hermann Goering.
There you go.
There you go. There's a well-known bastard from the past. There you go. Truth seeking.
That we named the tortoise.
Yeah, there's a one
from the past of this show.
That's us. Right, person that existed.
Back to Sagittarius A
star. Massive black hole that doesn't exist. It does exist. The world could be spinning around, but it might not be. What's the relevance? Let's go.
Right. Well, okay. We're getting there. So in my head, right, because of the Saturnalia thing, that links it in a way because it makes it look like the Eye of Sauron, which looks like the thing that supposedly they worship. Because the Eye of Sauron is also linked to depictions of the Twin Towers and to things like Ariana Grande's logo and stuff like that. That's Saturnalia, the logo of that.
But everything is. Everything. As soon as someone get like that is, it's we can't know why. Do you know what, James? You're doing it again. You're doing it again. I just need to believe. Just need to believe. Carry on,
This is
mate.
why he doesn't want to do the shows as often anymore, guys. He can't take it anymore. He found it fun over lockdown, now he's just like, no.
You say I don't want to do them, but I have spent the literal blood, sweat and tears has gone into repairing this computer for the sheer purpose of spending an hour and a half a week discussing
tripe.
This.
What you consider to be tripe.
It's not tripe, but
that's nice of you to say.
But There is a but. It's a weighted but as well. It's hefty. There's always one of the first things when any conspiracy pops up is then some dickhead on 4chan or Reddit or anywhere else goes, oh, and here's how it shows up in every business logo, and here's how every celebrity had it somehow in their stage props on tour, and then this logo, it was like the Pizzagate logo and the Nambla logo appearing in like loads of pizza shop logos and shit.
What about the Oreo?
What about the Oreo?
The Oreo's got the mark of the Templar on there.
It's a fucking biscuit, mate.
So
why does it? Why
and
would
if you was to look at, I guess if you was to take apart an Oreo as well, you could probably turn it into the logo for Saturnalia.
What is the benefit? Because
if you look at two of the biscuits side on and then the ring of cream.
Yeah, you're right.
There's your Saturnalia logo again, like a portal.
Do you know what? I fucking could. You're goddamn right.
But yeah, apparently it's got the logo of the Templar on there. I can get the image up if you give me a second.
I don't need to.
Okay.
The reason being, why? What benefit does it have? What benefit?
I don't know. I'm not sure. Maybe it's just them
what
mocking
magic
us.
is in
a lot
a
of conspiracy
fucking Oreo?
Theorists think that they mock us.
Yeah, and that's
they
really
mock us by showing us their logos and that they have to do that to play the game. They're not allowed to play this game using the ethereal entities because the ethereal entities have this rule that you have to use in order to play their game.
The only thing, right, my point with this is conspiracy theorists like to say that and say they like to mock us, but what they really mean is mock them, because 99% of the people don't even see those images, because you've got to be of this ilk or have this understanding to know what those images are in the first place and therefore get the reference. 99% of people don't get the reference, so it's not mocking anyone, it's going over people's heads. The only people you're mocking are crazy people like the daft cunts who shout about it on the internet going, they're mocking me. And the whole thing really, it's not about them mocking, it's about the people making the claims wanting to be involved and be like, oh, they're doing it to mock me because they know I'm on the chase, they know I understand. Stop trying to be important. Do you really think all these millionaires and that are in these secret groups, which do exist, that bit I'm not fucking protesting at all, those groups do exist. There's proof of that. Skull and Bones and shit fucking 100% exists. Like, there are meeting places where people with lots more money, power and respect than me or you will ever have get up to fucking nefarious shit and do proper weird fucking hundreds of years old shit. They have no need to basically get their kicks by poking fun at a couple of thousand idiots on the internet who smoke too much weed.
I get what you're saying, but I mean, think of an Oreo. Though. You don't need to use an Oreo to take the piss out of people.
Think of an Oreo.
But think about an Oreo, right? You must have had an Oreo.
I have eaten several. They've also got the thinner.
Shit, aren't they?
They are shit, mate. I'm with you.
They don't taste of much. They're not
glad
a great
we're on
biscuit.
this.
They don't beat a custard cream.
There are some things that we've taken from America. Reese's, I'll have. Reese's have come over.
I love Reese's.
Top tier confetti. Yep. All of the Reese's range, Reese's Pieces, Reese's Cups, all of them, top tier confectionery. We'll accept that, America. Thank you very much. But trying to sneak
spreading syphilis without people knowing as well. Big fan of that.
Well done, America. Fucking brilliant. Yeah. Spot on. Love you very much. But Oreos, stop trying to sneak those in. You try to sneak those in with the Reese's, I'll not have it. I'm not fucking happy with this.
We can have an Oreo conspiracy then, because I've just considered this. Consider the thought. Right? You've got these logos on an Oreo, right? And they taste like shit.
Is
and
the Oreo the black hole?
No one would keep eating them. No, we're not going there. We're not going so fanciful, right? We're going to say that these Oreos, what if they're like a token or the key, the little pass to get into certain meetings, and that's why they're available all over the world, and they've made them edible. So that you can, there's a reason for them to be in every shop almost around the world. Yeah, but they're not actually
edible. Yeah, that's why they don't taste that great. They haven't put enough effort in.
Yeah.
They've just made them.
Yeah, they just have to have them.
Yeah.
Because when you go to these doors, instead of doing a retina scan, because then they've got everyone's eyes on record, you just slot the biscuit in, and you've got to get the logo of the Templar in the right hole and pop it in and push it in, and it reads the biscuit. and then the door opens, and then there's someone on the inside who never gets to leave at the desk, and he's like, "Yes, can I take your name, please?" And he looks down the list, and he's like, "Oh yeah, Mr. Jones, you're there."
It makes a lot more sense than these biscuits being popular because of their taste. Because I couldn't agree more. They're such. I'm disheartened by the willingness of our nation to take on it. I'll be honest, like Britain. We can't. I'm not proud of many things when it comes to Britain. One thing I'm proud of this beautiful collection of islands is our taste when it comes to biscuits. We fucking know what we're talking about,
and we are revered. Right,
we are revered in the international, across the world, for our knowledge when it comes to biscuits and crisps. Yeah, you're right, because for a start, we're the only country that knows what they're actually called. Everyone else calls them chips, and they're wrong, because we know what chips are. Chips are hot. Biscuits.
I found a polystyrene tray today of really old mouldy chips on the street. But just to throw that out there,
actually,
that is something that I can now still see in my head.
That's a bit weird, because
chips, the seagulls hadn't even touched it.
I was about to say there are many seabirds where you live, and for there to be no chips, there are chips left in that means there's something wrong with them. Yeah. That
you can't see the chips. You can't see the chips. All you can see mould, and then you can see lines like indents. It looks like, oh fuck, what's it called? Is it the Devil's Causeway, where it's all like rectangular blocks standing
hexagonal
up?
blocks, yeah.
Yeah. Imagine
Devil's
them
Causeway
lines like that if you was to if you was to lie them down.
Yes.
They look like that but made of mould.
Something's going on in that chippy, lad.
Anymore.
Something's going on in that chippy. If the birds,
I don't know who's kept them about, mate, for that long. Because they were by the bins.
I wouldn't trust that.
No, I wouldn't eat it.
That's an experiment gone awry there. We were talking about.
They ate half of them though.
Back to Oreos. Come on, we were working through this. No, you had the point. You had the point.
Did I?
Yeah. No, my point was
you were telling me something about crisps.
No, I was talking about biscuits. I was saying that we're a nation we pride ourselves on biscuits, and I feel disheartened at the fact that our nation accepted the Oreo. But it would make sense if we hadn't accepted it because of its taste, but really because of its key, its accessibility. In which
then
case,
they had to get it into Japan, and that's why they teamed up with Pokemon.
What?
And they put Charmander, Squirtle, Meowth, Jigglypuff, and Pikachu on the Oreo packets and sold them in Japan.
All right,
that introduced them to the Japanese market.
For someone that doesn't like the Oreo, you almost know a little bit too much about it.
Well, when people start saying there's the Templar logo on there, you've got to start reading into things, haven't you, mate? You've got to know.
I like to think you've spent a good hour or two just researching Oreos.
Yeah, I think I did have a little.
Their product history, their
I'm pretty sure I've sent you the picture in the past of the Oreo logo on there, and then that day I would have sat there and thought, I'm going to have a look through this.
And I would have disregarded it because I would have been on my own fucking. I'd have been in my own rabbit
this is
hole.
This is schizo pages found again.
I'd have been in my own rabbit hole trying to fucking work out a connection between several different organised crime groups, like through countries that I'm basically making up lines in my head. But I'm like, yeah, these things are definitely connected. These crimes that I'm reading about, and there are definitely similar people involved in these. I can crack this case. I'm still a journalist. What you're talking about, you can do this, James. That's what I'm doing at the same time.
Oh.
Mine are just
I
as
hope
fantastical.
It brings in a nice esoteric edge to yours.
Yeah.
I'm hoping my messages, you're like, but maybe it has got something to do with the extra dimensional entities. That's the missing link. That's how they get it all across the border. They're all possessed. They bring a djinn with them or something, and they just release it, and it possesses the border guard.
Mate, there's I don't know if you've seen any of this at all, but as you'll be aware, there are quite frequent shootings in Mexico when it comes to the drug trade and the crime, organised crime in Mexico. There's a quite high body count. Probably one of the most dangerous places to live on the planet.
That's why they tried doing a lot of the drug deals in schools in America.
Yeah, it's safer.
Doing the big meets.
Actually safer than meeting in Mexico. You're only slightly less likely to get shot at a school in America than anywhere in Mexico, but you are statistically safer. However, there was a shootout. There was a gang shootout, whatever. Bunch of people killed. Among the dead found was a monkey in full armor gear. Little baby monkey. You've seen this? You've seen this?
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, it made me laugh.
Well, another very common thing in Mexico, is... I can't remember the genre of music. I've read about it a few times. They have a genre of like Mexican folk music, and they make songs about criminals, about dead criminals, like drug smugglers, people like that. This monkey has his own song.
Oh, nice.
It's got its own song. Within like 24 hours of this monkey dying, it's got its own version of whatever that song is, where like it basically puts it into nobility almost amongst like the people. Like, it's a famous character. And that was a bloke selling...
There'll be Netflix documentaries in 10 years about the monkey.
Well, that Popular Front bloke, that Jake Hanrahan, we've talked about him before, the bloke who does Frontline Reporting. He's currently in Ukraine. Like, he's gone to other places before. I've sent you his shit on Instagram.
Probably.
Well,
there's a name that hasn't stuck in, but go on.
He's released a T-shirt with said monkey emblazoned on it. I can't remember what the funds are for. It's for like animal welfare or something like that. It's like an animal charity. But it's fucking this bad boy monkey in his full protective armor. Obviously, poor thing shot to pieces, but like, it's a pretty gangster picture.
Yeah, I've seen the picture of the monkey. I thought you was going to say, I was kind of hoping though you was going to say that all of these gangs, when you were saying that and you were saying they all have, I was hoping you was going to say animal mascots and they all bring them along to every drug deal. There's like, an Eastern Mexican gang and they've got a little red panda that they bring along and they're like, I wish we'd fucking chose the snake. Yeah.
Other ones have got scorpions.
We look fucking soft here. Who picked these? Kill him.
Who picked the armadillo? It's literally, it's fucking pointless. It's bulletproof, but it does nothing. Like, fuck's sake.
They're just kicking it round till it rolls up and shoving it in the exhaust pipe of the rival cars to blow them up. You just toss it in
someone else, don't you?
They've forgotten the bomb to put to the ignition. Just shove the armadillo in the exhaust, it'll be fine.
No, just roll it under the wheel. It just flip the car. I imagine it can take quite a bit of weight, an armadillo. I imagine it's a unit when it curls itself up. Or you could just toss it off someone's head. That's going to do damage.
Yeah.
Maybe there's your next book.
Hit them with it.
There's your next book. Not 50 ways to torture an armadillo. 50 ways to cause damage with an armadillo.
Just throwing an armadillo through windows and that.
All right,
it'd be dead easy to draw as well because all of the damage would just be circles.
Yeah, it's just squiggle, just a spiral.
It's just
that's
it
circle,
curled up. Yeah.
That's it curled up. That's it unfurled. There's your next book. Yeah, I'm just handing ideas to you here, mate. Just add them to the collection.
That's fine. Can I hand some of my ideas to you? Because I want to carry on with Sagittarius A-star.
Yeah, we've got a good 5-10 minutes to kill. Shoot away.
Well, I think we might be able to get there. So, because it looks like the Eye of Sauron, right? And a lot of the Saturnalia stuff looks like Sauron. Sauron is also pretty much Sauron, which is like the word for dinosaur, I think. So, from evolution, right? We come from dinosaurs. He's just doing hand signs.
I was doing hand signs.
It's quite distracting. When I looked up and I was reading my notes in it, looking at my notes, reminding myself, and then you're doing like fucking hand signals. But anyway, that's worth nothing to the listener. But yeah, evolutionally speaking, we come from dinosaurs, right? Which means that in certain ways of using language, we come from Sauron, which could be we come from Sauron. So we could have come from a black hole, and that could be where we've come from. The black hole, the Sagittarius A-star, if you like. This leads me on nicely to my next point.
Right, okay.
Could be the equivalent of the Christian. Okay, it could be the equivalent of the Christian Eden.
Right, okay.
That could be where he got ejected from, if you like. Because in the Christians say we got ejected from there. There's that the repetition of humans being ejected from somewhere, Satan getting ejected from somewhere. Blah blah blah. Everything has a story about someone being ejected from somewhere mostly at the start of history. So could that not be where we've come from if we follow that line of investigation there?
Yeah. I mean, possibly. Are we taking for granted the fictional character Sauron, created by J.R.R. Tolkien, is actually real in this? Possibly,
we're using it as as a way that it's something that was drip fed to us in order to ready us for being told that we come from Sagittarius A star. And they also use star signs to drip feed the idea that, oh, some are Gemini, some are Leos, some are Tauruses, but in reality, we're all Sagittarians because we come out of the Sagittarius A star hole.
Mate,
and by calling it the A star hole makes it sound like
this is true, you have shit on so many poor lasses and so many woke and really so many, how do I put this? So many lasses that are really cool individuals who are definitely fiercely independent people who won't let anyone rule over them, won't bow to anyone's rules, but base their entire lives on what star sign they are. You've completely ruined their lives by telling us we're all the same star sign.
Well, we're not even really a star sign. We're like a black hole sign. A black hole that's not actually a black hole, but we're told is a black hole sign.
You've just ruined their lives.
Well, I think that someone else is ruining their lives. Again,
so many Leo risings. Oh, they're going to be fuming. They're going to be fuming.
Oh, they do have a temper, don't they? Those Leo risings with a Sagittarius setting. They've got the fucking. It's the same thing again, mate. It's the way the hippies were used. It's the way fucking different people have been used, different movements. They're just using the movement now. We'll teach, for want of a better term, gullible fools about star signs, and we'll make them believe this, and they'll push it, but we'll only teach it to the fit ones, because then people will pretend that they're interested and they'll listen to them, which will gather them an audience, and then blokes will pretend that they believe it as well, and they'll tell other blokes, because that'll be a good way to get in with some of the good-looking weird girls, because they're gonna be better to be with and better fun to be with, and better crack, like you'd say, to be with and not. But they are into star signs, and then it spreads it, mate. And then all of a sudden, everyone believes in star signs, so everyone's heard of the word Sagittarius, and that means that when they do get told Sagittarius A star exists, they just, oh yeah, I know Sagittarius is the star sign, and then they completely disregard it. And this, mate, this is how they have the rules, and this is how, right? This is how they have the rules there, and they have to tell us what's going on before it happens.
There's fire in his eyes, people. He just it's like he lit up for those last few sentences there. This is the rules. Sorry, you'll have to double back on that. I saw you get excited, and it made us happy.
Okay. Well, that's like I was saying earlier. They've got to put the rules in. They have to put the rules to the game, and like Ike says about the Archons, and that they put the rules there, and the rule is they have to tell us we're in the game. This is them telling us part of the game and introducing words to us to get us used to it. Or if you want to use the idea of that Orwellian newspeak, they have to introduce new words for things that already existed. So maybe in ancient times we already all knew we came from this Sagittarius A star, but they actually called it Eden or whatever back then. It wasn't called that because obviously languages change. You're not always going to call it the same thing because dialects are different throughout time.
Remarketing as well. You don't want things get stale sometimes. If people haven't showed up for a while, you've got to fucking remodel, refit, and put a new name out there.
Yeah, exactly. People didn't like the tales of Enki and Enlil anymore, so they made up Noah.
Exactly.
And just replace the story. Yeah,
catchy.
Yeah. It's all the same.
Snappier.
Yeah. It's shorter.
Yeah. Rolls off
Plus,
the tongue.
then America can then use Noah. This is another bit of the game, if you like. America now use the word Noah to talk about something to do with global warming and weather. There's a department called NOAA, which I think's weird.
Right. Okay.
It's an abbreviation, right?
But that's just people who probably thought they were clever. That's not weird as in they set it up.
They've just forced it in there.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, they've basically, hey, wouldn't it be funny if we made a reference? Wouldn't that be funny? And then people with tinfoil hats go, they've done it because they want to ruin the world. When really it's just a fucking bunch of daft cunts. Like when you were given a school project and you go, yeah, I'm doing the title and the words are going to spell fart if you just read the first few letters. It's just that, but everyone's got PhDs and 20 years older. Yeah. But they have the same level of humour as we did when we were 13 at school.
You think? You don't think it's like a way
I was still doing
using that idea?
No. Well, possibly, but I also think a lot of it is just thinking they're fucking funny.
Just improving the day in the office.
Having shit crack. Yeah. But imagine that. Imagine your day is basically monitoring weather. That's boring as fuck, son. And then imagine someone comes around going, do you want to name the new thing? Yeah, I want to name the new thing. And then everyone goes, what's your funny idea? Oh, I don't know, we spend 12 hours a day documenting weather. We have no crack whatsoever. We only know about Fahrenheit and Celsius and sunny and rainy. I don't know, I was trying to think of weather terms there. Sort of went off. Barometer. We only know barometer.
We love humidity.
An atmosphere. and like numbers and stuff. And then they go, do you want to name the thing? What should we name it? Let's call it Noah. There was a lot of water there, wasn't there? And then that's how it happens.
Maybe. So you might be onto something. Yeah, I don't know, man. As always, I just like to give you the little something to see.
Hey, that little something just did us an entire show, because we are going to wrap up on that. That was spot on. The next one, I'm going to take my gear over. The next one's going to appear soon. You're back from COVID. Everything's going to be sound.
I am. So we need to catch up.
We've got supermassive black holes that may or may not exist. We've got the alien. My mate went to the Ancient Aliens Convention yesterday. We'll have to catch up on him with that, because I feel we might be able to get some bits out of that. For anyone who wants to know, the Ancient Aliens Convention, to give you a little bit of a glimpse inside the beings, it cost you a tenner just to take a picture with the "It's Aliens" bloke. £20 if you want that picture signed. £20 if you want that picture signed. An extra £20 for other things. Everything costs £20 extra. But the knowledge is free, all, because it's free in the world. And have you got anything parting to say before we just stop this abruptly?
Well, I had a little bit about a bit of something that's made me feel better about myself. If I could just get that in there.
Go on then.
So, it seems I am onto something with all of the TV shows and films I've been taking notes on.
Oh right, yeah, I've seen bits about this. Fucking hell.
Well,
Dodgeball.
With the extra-dimensional entities. Well, we're not going to talk about Dodgeball. That's on a separate episode if people want to listen to that. There wasn't as much in that about this, but in a lot of the kids' stuff, there's been loads, if you've listened to them, about extra-dimensional entities and how they're using our bodies in order to manipulate the world and so they can achieve something.
Yep.
But it's always really subtle. Like if you've got a genuine, a generally decent grasp of religion or of conspiracy, you can pick it out of it. But I was watching Miss Marvel the other day. It's like episode 3 or 4, and it's fucking no longer covert. It's now over. It's fucking. We are jinn. We're a hidden species. We come from over here. We're using human bodies, and it's literally in there now for the kids. Now that they've had years and years and years of getting it into all of our heads as the adults, and the older adults of dripping it in, drip feeding it in, now it's becoming more definitely there. So that I reckon it's so that in like 20 years from now sort of time, they can finally admit to us that the fucking the waiting rooms of Men in Black do fucking exist.
Fantastic. We're going to end it right there.